Hello, everybody. Over enlightened before my internet went down again today. I've had some uber trouble from my computer. Cables been going in and out, all kinds of bad stuff. I almost thought my laptop completely crapped out on me, but I was able to recover it last minute due to the repair feature. It was very hard to access. I do a lot of different things. Anyways, I wanted to bring you this because we never really sat down and we never really discussed this. You know, everybody says Jade Helm is this, Jade Helm is that. Fine. That's true. Everybody says that, it's the same card being played that happened during Greece, that happened during Rome, that happened during the British Empire, involving everything. In Rome, they let the barbarians in and they trained certain units to do stuff. And yes, this is relating to Al Qaeda and ISIS and everything, but how in Rome they allowed the barbarians in to do stuff, and then they trained legions and covert groups that eventually they quote unquote couldn't handle or something. And how during the British Empire, the East India Trading Company, which oddly enough was almost specifically a maritime trading company, was in a world perfect position to trade almost all goods that were at sea, and how they basically were very first kind of intelligence service, an MI6 or a CIA or a Mossad, that was able to false flag different pirate lords or whatever you want to call them, whether it's Black Bart or a Captain Jack type, Blackbeard, you name it. And it's no surprise to me that when we look at the world today and we hear the word Jade Helm, that's what we say. And that's what it means to most people. Just the United States doing something stupid, and that's it. Well, here's the situation, folks. And I got to be honest with you here. You've seen in the comments, in the very comments on some of these videos, that people have seen this happening in Canada. They have seen it happening in Mexico by their own governments. They have seen it in Japan. They have seen it in China. Everybody knows about this stretch of military power in Russia. And basically to put all their troops on the defenses nearing the borders, oddly enough, for some reason. Europe, I'm not so sure about Europe so much because I don't really hear much coming out of Germany, and that actually frightens me because I used to think that we were closer to Germany as we are the United Kingdom, at least since World War II. And it doesn't matter what the official name is. In the United States, currently it's called Jade Helm. But that's the United States name for part of the operation. I've put up 2 or 3 other ops that are going on aside it to give support to police and EMTs. I've talked about operations that are going on in Canada. I have not individually said anything on operations going on in Mexico and Japan and Russia. But as I understand it, and as you know it, there's something either coming or nearing that they are preparing. And it doesn't matter what website you go to, it doesn't matter what you do. This is one of the things that we're seeing. And everybody's eyes are on the United States, mostly Texas. But ladies and gentlemen, this is happening all over the world. This is not just a United States counterintelligence operation for training and espionage and crazy shit like this. This is something that's going on that is a world over situation. And if you know your history, if you can look into your history, there are many times in world history, and I'm going to say Rome again, because they did this. I believe I can pinpoint when Rome did this very thing, when they put their military on the borders, and they basically went into their own sovereign states to conduct training operations right before the last siege of incoming immigrants and invaders, as they call them, hordes or whatever you want to call it. And this is all being played down the same way. If you go to your history books and you really look at those books, you will see the same events happening every single time. In fact, I think for some countries, this will be the second, the third, or the fourth time this has happened. Japan, I know Japan this has to be its fourth or its fifth time. And Russia, shoot, if Russian history goes back a couple thousand years like it should, like China's, this is probably China's 10th or 11th drawdown from the ancient world. So this is not just the United States playing some little footsie game. You know, there's something coming. Whether you believe it's the the asteroid or what have you, there's a reason they're getting close to putting military near the borders where they think it's weakest, and in the main areas where they think the most civil unrest is going to be when they finally bring down whatever is coming. And we've never really talked about this. We've never really done this. So I thought I would go ahead and do this for you. One second, I'm doing something here. Here we go, new tab. Okay. I'm going to type in each country. I'm just going to type in Jade Helm in Japan. And let's see what comes up. Okay, not much is coming. Oh, nope, not much is coming in. Let's try Japan. Jade Helm exercises. Try to get it right. No, it still comes to Jade Helm. Okay, Japan. War exercises at home. (2015). Sorry about that, folks. My bads. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, so it looks like there are some exercises. Now, this says Japan World War II Army, but that's no way back then. This is, alright, so it shows soldiers moving around. Okay, there's not much here. We'll do China. Okay, China, there's a little bit more. No, that says U.S. troops in Romania. Alright, well, it keeps going back to the U.S. for some reason, folks. I mean, here's a Chinese troop. So I guess the reality is that, Let's see, what's this? Yep, Chinese PLA assembling near Myanmar border. Okay, that's not too bad. Problem is, folks, when you're looking at these, you're not going to find it under the same title that we're used to seeing. All right, so we're getting closer. China training exercise at home 2015. We see Russia and China naval exercise. We see Chinese military. We see the U.S. military in the Philippines. We see naval training photos April 2015. U.S. military 2015. Assault training in U.S. Philippines. We see Putin in what looks like a cropped photo or staged photo. Looks like it's kind of a bad photo, but he's in front of the Kremlin. And I don't think that this is real, but shows China and Russian army. Here it has a Chinese, it says exercise mechanized infantry brigade. Okay, that's U.S. Marines. That's nothing. Well, not the Marines are nothing. I didn't say that. What I'm trying to just say is that, okay, so Malaysian Chinese Army. Russian military parade, we know how that went. Their newest tank just basically bit the dust and had to be rebooted. But luckily they were able to salvage it, so that was good. Chinese joins U.S. military exercise. Okay, that might be worth something. That's interesting. Okay, we'll go down here. Let's see what this is. Royal Marines collapsed and died. Nope, that's not. Let's see here. Professional skill training during participation. No. Aha! Exercise being held August 24 to 29. English.cina.com. So that's about the time that the Jade Helm stuff is being run. So that'll be interesting. Let's see who else is involved in this. Europe, we know what's happening in Europe. I'm not going to say much there. China and Russia, I think in the U.S. are the major players. Canada will pretty much support anything that happens. What I want to find really bad right now. Okay, we've seen enough to know China's doing something. Let's look at Mexico. Mexico training exercise 2015. Okay, let's look. U.S. troops arrive in Ukraine? No. U.S. troops arrive in Ukraine? No. U.S. aircraft rescue firefighters? No. Chechen battalion death? Jade Helm operation? So it all seems to be focusing around the United States and not mentioning any of the international guys. So this will be interesting to find out what's really going on here and there and everywhere else. Let's see what this says. Joint Base Pearl Harbor Military Training 2014. I don't care about 2014. military forces across the world. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to find all the international guys. This looked important. What is this? Ha, that's weird. Let's see this one. Here's that one I was telling you about. I'm putting in the Constantina wire. That's Okinawa. Then Marine. That's an old photo. Marine Force Recon. Those are badasses. There's my dog. She goes crazy. So I'm trying to find out everything, folks, and it doesn't seem like there's anything on this besides the United States that wants to put it forward. So it seems like when we see this here, world armies preparing for Armageddon, we've seen this in pictures, but the main groups of searches are not coming up in what I was trying to find. And I would think that it would take probably a good hour to find each one of these doing their own thing. But we've all seen it, we've all heard it, we all know it to be there. So it's just a matter of time. I don't know what the scenario is going to be. I don't know how long it'll be until we know what the scenario will be. But just about every major country is preparing for something. And last time I counted, I think we have less than 3 million U.S. Americans in service. And I think the police are only about 1.5 million strong if you put in all the analysts and everything else. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a biggie, and thank you.